Hello. So we are here with a little bit of a longer form piece of content today. We often get a lot of questions surrounding the 12-week peak launch, and to be honest, I just wanted somewhere to direct people to. This is quite literally going to be a 45-minute sales pitch. So if you're not ready for that, just stop listening right now. But on a serious note, I've got Colin here to ask me some questions, to speak a little bit more about the 12-week peak. He's not only a great interviewer, which is going to make my job easier in the next 40 minutes, but he's also done the 12-week peak, so he's a perfect person for this. So we're going to just discuss all things 12-week peak, answer all the questions that people typically have surrounding the program. And yeah, if you're on the fence about signing up, then this is going to get you firmly off the fence. Colin, welcome to my
sporadic
podcast. I do an episode every 7 months.
First things first, David, let's talk about what the dates and the timelines are for this year for the 12-week peak. What do people need to know?
Yeah, so 12-week peak starts on the 3rd of March this year. You can sign up anywhere from the 19th of February to the 28th of February, and then it gives you the weekend to get kind of set up and organised. So that's the sort of key main dates that you need to be aware of. If you're Glasgow based or you're Scotland based and you're looking to come to any of the meetups, they're actually going to be on pretty much every weekend throughout the 12-week peak this year, alternating between Saturdays and Sundays. If you're looking to do the optional fitness shoot, that is the 24th, 25th of May, and the ball is going to be the 14th of June.
That's the important part to your mark as well, isn't it?
Do you know what? The ball's genuinely the best night of my year. It is incredible. What a great time.
Yeah, even I didn't do the 12-week peak last year, but I went to the ball last year and it was amazing.
I think having 300, I think there was 320 odd people there. I think having a group of people that have went through that sort of process all in one place celebrating kind of what they've achieved is phenomenal. Such a positive environment.
Yeah, and we'll talk lots about the community aspect of it as well, but genuinely see people come together in a non-gym environment, because the gym environment community stuff is amazing, but to celebrate in a social environment, there's just that extra layer to things.
Yeah, 100%. And to be honest, you do see some people let completely loose that you wouldn't have seen otherwise, which is always interesting, always makes for some good stories.
One of the first questions I've got is, what is different about the 12-week peak to other programs?
Do you know what? A lot of people say to me, "Oh, so and so has copied your 12-week peak idea," and somebody's ripping it off. And I'm like, to be honest, the idea of dieting for 12 weeks isn't novel or new. I presume I took it from somebody in some way, shape, or form at some point. I think what's a little bit different about what we offer is it's not necessarily, this is going to sound so fucking cheesy, it's not necessarily just a program. Like it is a fully blown experience. So it isn't just a training plan, a nutrition plan, and a coach. It's that, of course, which gets results, but it's all of the other things surrounding that. So it's the events, it's the meetups, it's the prizes, it's the ball, it's the photo shoot, it's the community, it's the people that you meet as well. So yeah, I think the fact that it's not a program and it's more of an experience is why it's grown exponentially in the last 5 years.
About it all the time.
Yeah, I think that's what sets it apart. And there's loads of things similar. There's things that have similarities, is probably a better way to put it. But I don't think they actually encapsulate all of the things that we've got in one place. And I think the fact that this is the 5th year running it, I think it's just 5 years worth of mistakes, lessons learned, and building upon that makes it sort of something a little bit different.
What's changed about the 12-week peak, given it's in its 5th year?
Since year one?
Yeah.
A lot, to be fair.
Think about 2021 is a long time ago now, and it's had different iterations, and it's just gotten bigger and bigger each time.
Yeah, I think the volume of people, of course, year one was 111 people or somewhere about that, 110 people, and already, even with our early bird sort of kind of sale process, there's 200 plus people already with that. So the size of the program, we're targeting 500 to 600 people this year, so it's sort of like 5x in the volume of people, which brings an element in itself with regards to different people's experiences, different people's lessons, things that you can learn from clients, but also like new coaches and whatever else as well. So the volume of people, of course, is one of the biggest things that's changed. The prizes have changed. I think year one, it was £2 1,000 prizes. We're giving away close to 15 grand this year, all in. The meetups, I think we had 4 year one. There's technically one every weekend now, plus midweek meetups. The photo shoot's over 2 days instead of an afternoon. It's got a ball. The first year we ever done this, we threw a party in what I can only describe as a shed. Unbelievable night.
It was good though, wasn't it?
Don't get me wrong, great night, but it quite literally was in a wooden shed at the back of a gym. So that's obviously some big changes. But outside of that, the way that it's delivered, it's fairly professional now. Like, I've been doing this for 5 years. The way that it was delivered back in the day was quite literally a PDF that I'd send out, and it had videos linked. And every time you clicked on a video, it would take you away from the PDF. It would take you to a YouTube, and then you'd probably watch a YouTube ad before you could watch the video. It's now delivered all in an app, so everything's systemized so much better in every way, shape, or form. So the way that the coaches communicate with you is cleaner. It's easier. The way that the content's delivered as well. An upgrade on quite literally everything. This year, though, what I will say is, like, we've actually removed a lot of things as well. I think over the last few years, we thought more was always better, and we've actually started taking things out. We're like, people aren't watching this video. People don't care about this information. So we've sort of made some changes with regards to what they actually get and just delivering them what they need when they need it, and drip feeding content throughout the program.
I think if I look at my time in 2022 doing the 12-week peak, I felt I had the right amount of information, but I was joining as an experienced dieter who'd done it many times over, and I think that you're the only coach that I've ever trusted to put my time with. So that's certainly saying something. If you're listening to this and on the fence, I actually trust David and the guys implicitly with what they're doing. But I was given all the tools to go forward. So of course you've added to those tools, but you've streamlined how those tools are presented. So it's like you say, it's cleaner to be able to view, like, oh, I've got Copenhagen planks this week. How does that actually look? Yeah. I'm not having to go into YouTube and see it. It's all delivered in one place, one click.
Yeah, you mentioned actually there, like, you had quite a lot of experience, well, loads of experience coming on board. That's something that's probably changed as well. Like, just based on, like, when we first launched this, it was pretty much for coaches only, or those that were very, very serious about training. Year 2 was like that as well. That's what we kind of pushed. And then year 3, it grew a lot. Like, it's pretty much doubled every year we've done it. So the type of clients definitely changed. It definitely was a little bit more coaches, people super into training, and it's a little bit more diluted. There is some people that every year that maybe shouldn't be doing it, but equally some of them do amazing. Some of them find it a little bit too hard, but it's probably more Gen Pop now. In fact, it's definitely more Gen Pop now than year 1. And this year it'll be the same again. So we've had to, again, cater for that and create content to make it consumable, whether you're 12 months into going to the gym or you've been going 12 years like you.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think if you look at some of the transformations now, it's not just somebody going from like the end of a bulk to shredded. It's somebody going from, I've trained a little bit, and then you look at the result in 12 weeks and you're like, wow, they've actually got some really good muscle bellies. They've got lean. They've got the 6-pack for the first time. Yeah. And it's catering for that as well. It's giving people the opportunity across the 12 weeks, regardless of your start point, to get a really incredible result for you, not just for a fitness photo shoot.
Yeah, and I think that looks different for everyone, like you mentioned there. Like, your result in 12 weeks looks very different from someone that maybe only been training 2 years or that had 20 kilo to lose. So that's one thing I want to make super clear about this. Like, you will see us post a lot of the best results, and I'll be honest, it helps us market it better than ever. But it's not to say like everyone that does it is looking to have a 6-pack or a 12-pack or whatever that might be. That's not the case. There's a huge range of clients, ages. I was going to say sexes. There's only 2 sexes. I'll maybe need to take that part
out. No, we won't.
We'll keep that in. So there is a huge range of sort of people that do this as well, and the results vary because of that as well.
I guess you've answered this question to some extent, but who's the 12-week peak for?
Again, this has maybe changed a little bit, but it's for anyone looking to achieve a massive, not just body transformation, but like transformation in general, that has prior weight training and calorie tracking experience. So that is one thing I'd love to make super clear. If you've never tracked your food, you've never been lifting weights, this is really not going to be the right program for you. And I'm more than happy to turn down people from this. We do it every single year, even more so this year, because the spaces are literally going to, like, I think they're going to sell out. So we do want the right people for this. So as I said, you should have, 12 to 18 months plus of weight training experience, and certainly have some experience tracking your calories.
Yeah, because going from none of that at all to doing it in like a really focused way for a period is going to be too much for somebody who's completely new to it.
Yeah, so you should be coming on board with this already with a lot of the habits and lifestyle things that we would sort of recommend. You don't need to be nailing them 100%. That's probably where we help you. Maybe you're sort of 60 to 80%, certainly where I am most of the year. And for this 12 weeks, it's a sort of detailed, really dialed in period for you to be 100% with these things, whether it's tracking calories, whether it's hitting a step goal, whether it's weight training, whether it's getting better sleep. So yeah, it is for people with prior experience. If you're unsure, just ask us. Like I'll happily jump on a 5-10 minute call and ask you a few questions. And if it's not for you, either recommend something else or give you a little bit of advice on what you should do on the lead up.
Yeah, absolutely. Across the 12 weeks, how much time per week would people need to commit to the program?
Good question. This will vary for people. I mean, it kind of depends on things like what's your commute to the gym. Some people's commute's half an hour either way. That's an hour in itself times 4. That's 4 hours of a commute, 4 hours at the gym. So it really does depend. But if I was to look at the average person, you're probably talking, the sessions are all between 60 and 80 minutes. So you're talking 4 to 5 hours of training every week. We'll exclude the commute because it's different for everyone. 4 to 5 hours of training per week. Steps, they're going to gradually increase. So like how much we want you to move, that's going to increase as the program continues. So it might start out with, 30-ish minutes of walking per day. And that could go up to as much as 2.5, even 3 hours per day, depending on who you are.
And how extreme you want to go as well.
And how lean you want to get. And also how inactive you are on a day-to-day basis as well. So there's all these
jobs will be different.
Yeah, there's all these things to take into consideration. Like, so yeah, you're talking, let's average it out, an hour walking per day, an hour training 4 times a week. You're probably talking some meal prep once or twice a week for, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't know, you're probably talking 10 to 12 hours. So literally watch one less episode of something and it covers a lot of it.
I think it's a commitment, but it's not a bonkers commitment. And I think a lot of people who would enroll in the 12-week peak are already training.
Yeah.
So you're just going to train more efficiently and better. And then you're going to do a little bit more walking and a little bit more focus on what goes in your mouth. The time's going to pass anyway. You might as well use it consciously.
100%. I think, like, as Colin said, most people should, if you're doing the 12-week peak, I would assume you've been training. So it's not like we're adding something completely new to your life and we're saying, right, you've not been going to the gym at all. Here's 6 hours or 5 hours of extra like time to try and fit in your life. If you're not doing that right now, like it probably isn't for you. And I'm more than happy to sort of put the wrong people off this. And it might just mean next year's a better time for you and you can spend the next year sort of building these habits and whatever else.
What results can somebody realistically expect across a 12-week time frame?
I would say every person that follows this, even 60% plus, will have more mental clarity. Like you'll feel better. So let's not talk about weight loss or a six pack for a minute. You will feel better mentally. Like actually showing up for yourself every day for 12 weeks, or even 6 days a week for 12 weeks. The sort of integrity that you build within doing that, and the mindset improvements alone is why people are doing this the 5th time in a row. It's not to say they get lean and get shredded every year they do it. Some of them come back to like, oh, this is the most focused I am every year for this 12-week period. So I'd say like from a result perspective, you're going to have more mental clarity than ever. From a like physicality, you'll definitely get stronger for the first 6 to 8 weeks. That might drop off a little bit towards the last few weeks. You'll definitely get leaner. If you were targeting a weight loss goal, I think the average weight lost across 480 people last year was 7 kilos, so a stone. Like that was the absolute average. And if I look at the highest end of that, it's 15 kilo, which was people with a lot of weight to lose.
15 kilos like life changing in terms of your health markers as well.
100%.
I massively agree with the mental clarity and the benefits that come from it. Because I know people, like you say, that enroll every single year because a common phrase nowadays, it's the most dialed in anyone is for 12 weeks. And so many good things happen when you look after your body. Your brain follows more often than not, and you feel great, you look great, you meet amazing people.
Yeah.
You come out of it in what will be May this time.
Yeah, May 24th.
Right at the start of the summer.
Yeah.
And you look and feel the best you have after like a pretty hard winter where it's probably not been very nice in Scotland, and you come out, the sun's coming out, and you're looking and feeling great.
Yeah, I think the focus is such it's something that we've never sold the program on. I've never said, oh, you'll be focused for 12 weeks. People are like, I just want to see my abs. I'm like, right, cool. That's cool. Like you hopefully will see that, but you will gain so much more. Like people's sort of mentality throughout doing this, they're like, that's the best we get that every single year. This is the best I have ever felt. Like that phrase, if I search that on my WhatsApp search bar, just the best I've ever felt, it will come up with like 300-400 names of people that have said that in some way, shape or form across the last kind of 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I think I'll be honest, when we built this, it was quite literally to get people six packs, because when we get people six packs, they tell their friends and their friends sign up, and like it's a flywheel. And that's kind of what it's been. Like, I'll be honest, it's been an amazing 5 years progress for this side of the business. But I never sort of built it with the mindset of like, oh, people will be focused and they'll get a lot of other shit done in their life for 12 weeks. Now I'm like, actually, that's more important to me. Like, getting the six pack's cool, but we've got endless transformations.
Life-changing results. I've seen the screenshots about people getting promoted, people starting or leaving relationships based on the confidence they've built. That is incredibly valuable for somebody to enroll in a fitness program and get all these other kind of, I would call, second order effect benefits.
Yeah, I think you asked at the start what makes it different, and I think that's one of the big things as well. So forget about the features, the service, the things that you get, like as in, the meetups and the app, and like forget about that. What you get from a personal development standpoint is massive. So outside of just physically looking and feeling better, like the mental benefits are massive, providing that you put the work in. There's plenty of people that sign up and don't do anything with it.
Absolutely. So what type of training is going to be involved?
Super simple. We used to have some variety in it, but we've kind of dialed it into what works, and it's a bodybuilding style of training. By that, it means 5 to 8 exercises, 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 15 reps, or 6 to 25 reps. Like, if I was to look at the bare bones of what the program looks like, it is that. So 4 bodybuilding style sessions. I'm not saying you are a bodybuilder. I'm not saying, you need to train exactly like a bodybuilder, but bodybuilders' sole goal is to build muscle and lose fat. It's going to be the best form of training for this. So 4 weight training sessions. Cardio is completely up to you. Some people need it, some people don't. Some people like it, some people don't. We would advise you on whether you need it or whether you don't. That is it. We do have optional sessions as add-ons, like if you're someone that already trains, like probably yourself, 5-6 days a week, there's things that you can add on, but for the bare bones of getting the absolute best result, like 4 days is what we'd recommend.
Do I need to go to the gym, or can I do it at home?
You do definitely need to go to the gym. And again, we used to sort of try and cater for people that were doing home workouts here, but we don't with this program. Like, this is a set male program and a set female program. It's 4 days. All the males do the same program, all the females do the same program. And unless you've got a fully equipped home gym, it won't necessarily work. By fully equipped, I mean a squat rack, cable machine, and a few machines, leg press, leg extension. There's very few people that have a gym like that.
That's set up like that.
So yeah, I would advise that you see. To be honest though, there's probably like 3% of people that do this every year that do train in the house, and they're just like, I'll just change it all myself because they join for other reasons. If that's you, fine. It's not going to get the optimal results, but everyone's reason for signing up is different.
Yeah. This is going to be such a frequently asked question. Can I train for High Rocks and do the 12-week peak?
Yeah, this is by far the most asked question in the last kind of probably 2 years. Yes, even more so now. We've got 2 new coaches with MTN that are sort of functional fitness experts, to be honest. Like, Peter's phenomenal. Tanika's been doing CrossFit for like 10 years. She's like an incredible athlete. So they will certainly be able to guide you on that. What I will say is the programming that we provide is not High Rocks. It's not functional. It's not related to that. It is a bodybuilding style of training. So you would be expected to find and do your own running, or find and do your own functional fitness, compromise running, whatever that might be. We can give you a little bit of help there. Like, we have plans that we've used in the past that we can sort of help out with, but it's not our focus or aim with the program. Plenty of people done it last year. Same with marathons, half marathons. I think the Edinburgh half and full marathon are the day the program ends. So loads of people, I say loads, 15, 20 people last year finished, done the fitness photo shoot, and then ran a marathon the next day. Every one of them, actually, I probably need to make content on this, every one of them got a PB. And they didn't necessarily like kill themselves with running. Why did they get a PB? Because most of them are like 10 kilo lighter. I
was just about to say, do you know what's underrated in High Rocks? Not being heavy.
Yeah.
Being able to run 8 kilometers at a lighter body weight, you're going to be less fatigued. And the only thing that you need to be like strong for is like the sled.
Yeah, you don't need to have a lot of, in fact, having a lot of body weight for High Rocks makes it incredibly harder. So being lighter, being leaner for both half marathons, running 10Ks, whatever that might be, High Rocks, it's going to make a significant difference. So there was genuinely a guy last year that didn't run and done a half marathon and got a personal best. which blew my mind. He didn't.
He was just carrying a lot less
He didn't
weight.
run for 12
He's
weeks.
more efficient.
But he lost 12
He's
kilo.
more efficient.
Yeah.
What happens if I miss a workout? I know I've got 4 days to do, or I've got limited time.
Yeah, there's flexibility with all these. Like with the app that we use, everything's drag and drop. So if you we program everything Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. If that doesn't suit you, you can quite literally drag, drop, move around. If you miss a workout in a week, this is one thing that we always need to make super clear. We don't expect you to try and fit them all in the following week. Missing one workout is not going to have really any negative impact. Like the odd workout that you've missed is going to be fine. One of the things that people always ask, in fact, probably one of the biggest misconceptions, I don't even know if we have this to chat about, but a lot of people don't sign up because they've not got a clear 12 weeks in their diary. They don't sign up because they're like, oh, I've got a stag do, or I've got a hen do, or I've got a holiday. Every single person that's done this, like, I don't expect you to live like a monk for 12 weeks. If you do, you probably get a better result, but most people will have a holiday, a trip, an event, birthdays, weddings. So you can certainly still do this, even if you've got holidays, events, trips, stag do's. I went to a stag do one year when I was running it. That was a challenge. That was a time and a half, but you can certainly do this. Even some of the winners from the last few years of the 12-week peak have had things like that on. So you either need to be really smart surrounding it and make some changes, or some people can get away with having 10 weeks dieting instead of 12. Like 12's not the arbitrary number that everyone has to diet for.
It's just when you get the chance to be fully committed, and then life will happen around
100%.
it. Let's talk about nutrition. What does the plan include from that perspective?
So nutrition-wise, I've genuinely worked with, in some way, shape or form, like 3,000 plus people in the last 10 years. What we've got from a nutrition standpoint and how we've refined it, it just works. So we follow a flexible approach to the nutrition, so that kind of 80-20% principle, which basically just means providing that 80% of your calories are coming from whole foods, 20% can come from fun foods being whatever the fuck you like, and you'll actually enjoy life and enjoy dieting. So when you get signed up, you'll fill in a kind of detailed questionnaire that will give us, the coaches, a better idea of who you are, what sort of calories we'd like you to start on. We'll delegate you a calorie and a protein goal. There is optional meal plans. We say meal plans are like templates. We don't really want or expect you to follow these to the absolute letter. But if you, some people love structure. Yeah, like myself included. Whenever I diet, I'll pretty much eat the same things on a daily basis, minus dinner. So yeah, you've got your calorie goal, protein goal. You've got a ton of templates to follow. One of the sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Things that people don't think about is like how helpful the other members are, how helpful the other clients are. Most of like, I'm not a chef. Like some of the shit some of the shit that I eat does not look that aesthetic. Some of the clients that come on board
get so creative, so creative. I remember the group chats, people posting stuff and being like, "Look what they made with like 450 calories," and I'm thinking,
chicken and rice.
Yeah, basics.
It is definitely not a chicken and rice meal plan. I like to make that super clear. It is a very flexible approach to things. You'll see the foods that people eat, and it also just gives you inspiration. So I think that's a sort of hidden benefit that we don't really speak
from a community aspect. People come to the board with more knowledge, and there's super experienced trainees within that can maybe say, in the last few weeks when your hunger's higher,
do this.
I've started eating this, or I've started eating that. And then the coaches have all been over the course as well.
Yeah.
You, Alex, have all been super lean, which is very helpful too.
Yeah, I would agree. So there's not only a lot of guidance when you first get started with the 12-week peak, there's ongoing guidance as well. So we don't sort of leave you to it. Like every week there's a video that it tells you exactly what to do with your calories, if we want you to change your protein, what we want you to do with regards to any sort of changes. And then
that's
you've also
like how much to reduce or how much to manipulate.
And then you've also got your accountability coach. So anytime you're like, should I drop, 100 calories or should I increase 100 calories? Like they are sort of on hand to guide you surrounding that as well.
If I've got specific dietary requirements, like I'm vegan or gluten-free, or I've maybe got other intolerances, how do you cater for that?
Well, this is the beauty of, one, you have an experience tracking your calories, which is a little bit of a prerequisite, but two, it being a flexible approach, you can eat whatever you want. Even the meal templates, they're not specifically gluten-free or specifically dairy-free, but nowadays, like literally whatever it says,
swaps.
Just write gluten-free version. Like that's the kind of bare bones of how you would do that. So yeah, we'll cater for everyone. We've got advice surrounding vegetarians, vegans. It is admittedly a little bit harder as a vegan to just hit your protein intake in general.
Without extra cows, that's the big challenge.
We've worked with enough vegans that there's advice there. And again, do you know what? There's a client, Nicole, every year that she's I think she's done it 3 or 4 times, but she'll just create a little group. It's just like the vegans of the 12-week peak, and they just like share their meal ideas
and they find meal hacks. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally agree. You mentioned flexibility about stuff happening within the 12-week peak, like stag do's or social events. What about meals out?
Yeah, I mean, this is again going to be one of those circumstances where the more that you can moderate, the better your results will be. Like if you think you're going to be able to eat out every single weekend and still get, you know, the best result of your entire life, it's probably not going to happen. And like unless that is you really cleaning stuff up, maybe you already eat out 5 times a week, but you can certainly eat out. Like I eat out probably more than the average person. I eat out a lot. You can get lean, you can stay lean whilst eating out. You just need to make better choices surrounding that, and that's the advice that we give you.
And the restaurants you go to.
Yeah.
So there's lots of, particularly the legislation the last couple of years. There's many menus now that have calories on them.
Yeah.
And typically you can make better choices. Like for example, you could definitely eat a Nando's right up to near the end because it's chicken and a carb source and some veg. It's not going to be that different from what you eat in the house. Probably they've cooked in a bit more oil, so it's a slightly higher calorie. That's about it.
And that's the thing. We're going to give you advice on how to guesstimate properly. But also, like Colin said there, like where to go, where are better places. Like we partner with certain restaurants in Glasgow. Woodon's one of our clients' restaurants, a Chinese up in the Great Western Road. She's someone that every year creates like a calorie counted menu for us. So like that's just a great thing for people that are like, craving Chinese
food. It still
food.
ticks that social box as well, which I think is so key. And again, we're going to talk a wee bit more about the kind of community and the accountability side of things. But many of the people that are within the group will be suggesting, oh, we went to this restaurant and it's got its calories on its menu. We went to Woodon and we were able to get this. Amazing.
Exactly. I think you can always make it work. Don't get me wrong. The last sort of 2 to 3 weeks, you're probably not going to want to eat out as much because you're just like dialed in. Like, yeah, you're on less calories. But for the first sort of 6 to 8 weeks, you could certainly eat out once per week, providing you're being smart with it. Oh, do you know what? You could eat out more than that if you're being really smart. Like Colin said, if you're eating in restaurants that have calories in the menu, eat whatever the fuck you like.
Yep. From a community aspect, do I have to take part in the community events?
Yeah, this is a funny one. Actually, we filmed a video on this yesterday, and like
forced fun.
We were talking about like keys in the bowl situation. It's not like a swingers party, guys. Don't worry. You could be as involved or uninvolved as you like. Some people genuinely sign up to the 12-week peak with quite literally, and in fact, one of last year's winners said, "Oh, I signed up to make friends," which was something that I'd never thought about. Why you'd sign up to like an online coaching program. It's the same reason run
clubs have become so popular. You find people who are interested in the same stuff as you.
100%. So no, there's genuinely people that do amazing with the 12-week peak that turn off all the notifications on the group chats, turn off all the notifications on the apps that we message you through, and just crack on. They follow the training plan. They text their coach now and then, and they get amazing results because they're just dialed in. Equally, there are people that come to every single meetup, will communicate daily in the WhatsApp groups, will post every meal that they're eating, will tag us in every Instagram post. I'll be honest, we love those people more because they spread the word a little bit better, but
it's not forced, but the option's there for you, and you can meet some incredible people if you choose to.
Completely up to you. I know for me, like if I joined something like this, I probably wouldn't be like, I've actually just signed up to something. It's business related, but I'm never going to be that guy in the group that's posting everything that I'm up to in that kind of setting, and that's fine. Like if you're not that sort of either social or it's just not, it's maybe social media is not for you either. It doesn't make a difference.
From an accountability perspective, how often am I in touch with my coach?
So your coach will reach out to you once per week, and you can reach out to them as frequently as you like. The only day that the coaches are actually going to actively be like, we are not working, is a Wednesday. They will kind of set expectations of when they'll reply and when they won't. But if anyone's ever worked with me, they'll know that I have
response rate is through the roof.
I have zero boundaries. And Kirsty, my partner, is also one of the coaches at the 12-week peak. So during that period, we just agree that we're sat on WhatsApp all night. Nah, we're not really. But it's one of those ones, like, I just urge you, like, if you've ever got questions throughout your journey, like, reach out to us. We will reach out to you on a weekly basis. There's content posted by the coaches 3-4 times a week that sort of clears up most questions. But if you need more help, support, accountability, reach out anytime. Like, and yeah, reach out to me if you want a rapid reply, because I'm absolutely sad. I'm on WhatsApp all day.
How will I be tracking my progress across the time?
So with regards to tracking your progress, this has kind of evolved since we first launched as well. You will have a Google Sheet that's optional, which is basically like an Excel that you can tick boxes. Did I do this? What's my body weight? What's my calories? That's one way. Some people like that. Some people don't. I don't like, that's not how I track my progress. I would use the app. So there's the MTN app that you log into. You can track your body weight. You can link it to MyFitnessPal. You can track the weights that you're lifting. That's one place to do it as well. The other way would be progress photos. Those are technically optional. Highly recommended. Like 95% of people take them. You do not need to share them with us. I think a lot of people sign up and they're like, if I sign up, am I gonna have my photo of my pants plastered all over Instagram? Maybe you will. Anyone that's panty pics you have seen on Instagram have been cleared. I don't just post them without asking.
It's been signed off and agreed.
It's been signed off. But everything like that's 100% confidential. I think that's a big worry. Like, we've got a lot of teachers, we've got people high up in corporate. They're not going to want their photos posted. Some of like 2 standout results for me. We've never posted. They're honestly 2 of the best results we've ever got, and they were like, nah, that's not for me. I didn't do this for anything else, and I'm like, totally fine. Kills me a wee bit inside.
But it's a great metric for you personally to 100%. Track. And I would encourage, as somebody that's dieted many, many times each summer, to have those photos to compare side by side, because the scale will tell a big part of the story, but it won't always tell all of it. So, for example, I know there's people that have done really well and finished top 3 in different categories that you've got, and their weight's changed a little bit, but in the last week, their weight's not changed at all, or the last 2 weeks, but they look noticeably leaner, tighter, more muscular. That is really important, and I promise you, the photos will be able to tell you that, not always the scale.
Photos are by far the best. Like, this is a transformation program, and as much as, like we spoke about, it's not just about the physical. Some of it's about the physical. Like, you want to be able to see and compare where you were and where you're at now. The other thing that we're actually going to sort of, it's going to be enforced, isn't the right word, but
encouraged.
A progress video is something that we're actually going to encourage. I like that. Encourage people to do this year, because it's a little bit more realistic as well. There's no sort of, you can't edit things, you can't hide, you can't use lighting to the same extent. So yeah, like a starting video and an end video, I think will be a really cool thing to actually see. To
just on that,
change.
From my experience, if you're going to be doing the photo shoot, doing the videos can be helpful for you learning how you might want to stand as well, or how you might want to pose, and it might help you connect more with the muscles in terms of how you want to stand, because you'll get to the photo shoot and you get an amazing help from the likes of an Alex, who's a bit of a posing expert. But when you he'll laugh when he hears that, won't he? But when you practice the videos across the week, particularly as you start to get leaner and you start to see your muscles, it'll be great for you to realize, like, oh, when I tense my core like this, my chest looks like this, or my arms look like this. And that'll lead to you maybe getting better photos if you're going to do the photo shoot. For sure.
So photos, videos, obviously we kind of recommend you take your weight quite regularly as well. And then there's metrics that you can track on the MTN app as well.
What happens if I'm not getting results midway through or halfway through?
We just fire you. We stop speaking to you. No, I'm joking. To be honest, we'll jump on a call with you. Like, we're more than happy to jump on phone calls, Zoom calls, whatever that might be, and problem solve. Like I said, like, it's very rare that a client comes to me that's not getting results and we can't solve the problem within sort of 6 to 10 days. And it's usually looking at adherence, consistency, of course, but sometimes there's other things. Sometimes people have health conditions that they haven't made us aware of that, dictate their calorie intake or dictate what sort of training they should maybe do a little bit differently. So if somebody was listening, and I've always said this, if somebody listens to every single thing that we do and we, takes all the advice even when we're trying to solve the problem and still doesn't get there, I will 100% just give you your money back, because I'm so confident in, one, my ability to solve that problem, but also two, it's not ever going to be that many people. Like, there might be the odd outlier within a 500 person program that, regardless of what we're doing, is not changing.
Genetics, their gut, all these things, yeah.
It's super, super rare. And in most cases, there's small changes that you can make that will get the ball rolling again.
And you've got people who are genuine experts to ask.
Yeah.
And you could be making a really obvious mistake to them that doesn't seem obvious to you because you've not been in this situation before. And that's why I've got so much time for MTN, because you guys genuinely have been over the course with clients and yourselves many times over. So you can be like, oh, actually, have you thought about maybe doing this with your sleep? Or how are you tracking that particular nutrient? Or how are you doing this? And you'll find that fix for them.
There's like 3 common problems with people not getting results. They're either not tracking accurately and they think they are. Their weekends look absolutely nothing like midweek, and they're not training with enough intensity. Like, that's the 3 sort of main places that we go whenever we see anyone like not really getting anywhere. I'll be like, come in and I'll train you for a day. And they'll be like, oh my God, I've never trained like that. Or I'll say, send me photos of your food for an entire week. And I'm like, you're telling me you're having 250 grams of rice, but there's easily 400 grams there. Or, there's 60 grams of cheese there. How much did you track? I didn't really track it. like those things.
Eyeballing it.
And then I'm like, cool, send me your food over the weekend, and then they just ghost you. So you're like, that's the 3 common problems.
Yeah. Let's talk about costs. Are there any additional costs that I don't know about before I sign up?
Yes, there's loads of hidden costs. No, I'm joking. So the program's £450. That covers literally everything other than the ball, which is an additional cost, and the photo shoot this year, which is going to be a small cost of something like 20 quid. So the ball is somewhere between 70 and £100. It actually depends what we include within it this year, but I think every other year it's been 75 or £80. So it's going to be there.
Having been to 2 balls now, great value for money. It's a great night.
Phenomenal. Like, such a good night.
You think same venue?
Same venue, I think, just on repeat.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a great place there. So that's the
what
only
other
other
costs
costs.
I think about? Maybe like gym memberships, supplements. What else do I need to consider?
Supplements, you could easily get by on either no supplements, like the most people don't need them. They're sort of the cherry on top. If you did want to spend money on supplements, 40 quid a month max. Like, you really don't need to spend that much money. And a lot of the things that you would buy and they would do you for 12 weeks. Gym membership, if you're not already a part of one, then it's maybe not the right program for you anyway. Gym membership's going to be between 30 and 100 quid, depending on where you're going. Other costs, your food shop is going to be maybe more expensive. I don't know. There's a sort of argument going about healthy food's more expensive than fast food. I don't actually know if it is.
If you're super dialed into what you're eating, you may find there's a lot less waste.
Yeah.
And if you know you've got like particular meals that you're always having, maybe some variety at dinner, you probably find that you shop more efficiently and you don't have stuff that sits in the fridge or the cupboard or the freezer for a long, long time.
Yeah, I would agree completely. Like, some people will save money on their food shop throughout the 12 weeks. Some people might spend more. It totally, like, if you're going to eat salmon and fillet steaks and whatever else, you're probably going to spend a little bit more.
For the 450, do you offer any payment plans?
Yeah, £150 a month. So you can split that across 3 months now as well.
Okay, and can I refer a friend or any bonuses if I introduce somebody?
These are great questions. Who asked you to ask these? So we are big on doing this with your own network. Like, I think it makes a significant difference to your results. There has been groups of, I think there was 12 people, and this year there's a group of 16 doing it, which I think is insane. All in the same friend group, partners, like husband, wife, whatever else. So we sort of encourage that. One of the first things that we do is, when you're signing up, if someone's convinced you to sign up, put their name on the sign up form, and then we're going to give away 2 £500 kind of, not prizes essentially, but referral fees to the people that bring the most people with them. So that's the main way. But like, we would 100% encourage you to. You don't need to do it with your partner, but it can be helpful. You don't need to do it with your friends, but it can also be helpful.
Yeah, it happens a lot, and you see lots of couples go through it, get amazing results. You see lots of groups of friends all get that group photo at the end as well. Looks amazing when they're all out there looking their best.
And that's one of the things we're changing a bit this year as well. Normally it's just a sort of age category prize, you know, under 35, over 35's winners, but we're actually going to add a couples transformation, because I think it just adds a cool element to things. Like, there was so many couples that done it last year that we always have a couples prize, but it's never to the same value. This year it's going to be £2,000, so it's nice. A decent.
We'll get on to prizes in just a sec. Let's talk about health concerns first. If I've got a pre-existing health condition, can I still participate?
Totally depends what it is. A lot of people actually been asking us if they've just given birth, can they do it? In most cases, like, I would say no if you've just given birth. Providing you've been cleared by a doctor after sort of kind of 10 weeks is generally like the rule of thumb. Even then, it is quite intense. I would give yourself a little bit longer. Other health conditions, it totally depends what it is. Consult, you know, the generalized consult with the doctor before signing up advice lies here.
What happens if I get injured or sick during the program?
Everyone's gonna get sick. You're gonna look sick. Get done.
Sick abs, bro.
Sick. I mean, there's absolutely nothing that we can like do about that. People will get ill. Like, people will get the flu. I'm sure throughout the 12-week peak, we'll advise you on what to do. Largely rest, drink water, sleep.
Dr. David.
Regarding injuries, actually, I mean, we work really closely with Adam at the physio clinic. He actually won the 12-week peak before, and he
looks nuts every year. Incredible.
He looks amazing. He's also just the best physio. And I think people think I make money off referring people to Adam. And do you know what, Adam, if you're listening to this, I wish I did, because I'd be absolutely loaded. But
I recommend him to everyone as well. But there's a reason for it, because he understands people that train and lift, that want to get back to training and lifting as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal physio. So he's who we recommend to anyone that ever picks up an injury. But yeah, there's always people that get injured. If it's something that means you cannot continue throughout the program, I will give you your money back, or you can credit it towards another year. I am not... do you know what? In fact, I'll leave this story out. But I'm not one of these coaches that's like, there's give and take. If something goes wrong in your life, I'm happy to help you out.
Yep. Let's talk prizes then. What are the prizes this year?
So we're gonna have 5 prizes, and they're all £2,000 each. We're also working with a few really cool brands that I probably won't announce yet. We'll probably announce them when the program gets going. The brands are actually going to be a part of some of the really, really cool prizes as well. So yeah, they're somewhere in the midst of, well, there's definitely £10,000 to give away. There's probably another 5,000 worth of other coaching prizes that we're giving away.
Huge.
And then there's another 5k worth of sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the
prizes get bigger every year, and there's so many categories as well for people to enter and get an opportunity to win.
Age groups under 35, it's like fucking X Factor now. Under 35s, over 35s, male,
Sob
female,
story category.
And saddest to happiest, and couples transformation, so that going as well.
Yeah. Is it a competition, or can I do it just for fun?
Yeah, I mean, it is a competition if you want to make it a competition. Plenty of people don't sign up with the intention of trying to compete or trying to win. Some people sign up with that as being their sole reason.
And some people sign up just to get the best possible result, and they end up getting one of the
100%.
Best results. Equally, you see people, and it's all relative.
Yeah.
If you are quite new to training and you haven't really nailed it yet, and then you nail it in this program, that is an incredible 12-week. That you versus you is the kind of cheesy phrase, and you see it all the time with people. And maybe the second year they come back, they end up coming third or fourth or winning.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
I couldn't agree more. And like, it's a weird one because we technically give away better prizes than like actual bodybuilding competitions. Like, it's kind of grown so much that we're giving away a ton of fucking money.
You also don't have to get up in your pants and like Cumbernauld Town Hall or something.
Exactly. Here you won a tub of protein powder. So the prizes are a little bit better than that, but like, some people sign up for the competition, and some people don't care about it.
The competition is an added benefit, I think.
Yeah, and do you know what? The competition was genuinely why we first done it. It was such a big marketing ploy, and now part of me would remove the competition because there are some sort of drawbacks to that side of things, but I'd probably look like a cheapskate if I took it.
If I want to win the competition, do I need to do the photo shoot?
Nah, a lot of people actually ask if they need to be from Glasgow, or they need to come to the ball, or they need to come to the photo shoot. You can win the 12-week peak simply based on your results, and that's based on a before photo and an after photo, and a video this year as well.
Let's finish up with some of the criticisms that people maybe say about the 12-week peak. Some of the things the haters say, yeah. So one of the ones that I hear is it's not sustainable. Mm-hmm. What do you say to that, David?
Dieting it's not sustainable for some people. It depends how lean you want to get. Anyone that's sort of trying to chase sub 10% body fat, that is not sustainable for 99% of the population. So it's not sustainable in that sense, but it's kind of not targeted to be sustainable. It's targeted to actually push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. And I always relay this back to athletes in any competitive sport. Usain Bolt, I think his world record's 9.58. He ran that once in his entire life. It wasn't sustainable for him to repeat that performance. He literally peaked for that performance.
The clue's in the name.
The 12-week peak, it is to get to something that you've never been. I like to kind of look at the 12-week peak, like, let's say if you're looking at it from a weight loss perspective only, if you lost 12 kilo, which a lot of people do, a kilo a week, you can expect to gain some of that back pretty quickly. Like, that will happen. You will eat more after you finish this program. You will not gain 12 kilo back in the most part unless you literally stop doing every single thing that you've been doing. So a lot of people will lose 12 kilo and gain 4 or 5 back, and then that's their new normal, which is such a good
still
way.
Look fantastic.
Which is such a good way to sort of, then the next time you do it, you maybe lose 6 and you gain back 2, and like you're net down in weight still. And you're able to maintain a leaner physique.
And you build some great habits.
Yeah, so there is always the argument of it's not sustainable, but I think peaking in any light, whether it's business, whether it's sport, whether it's performance, and like, you know, any sort of performance, you're not going to sustain the peak level of performance at all times, and that shouldn't necessarily be the goal.
You're enrolling in it for it to be a challenge as well.
Yeah,
it should push you to excel. What about when people say the training plan isn't tailored?
So this is a funny one because I used to sell all of our services with the catchphrase like 100% tailored training plan, because it was sort of the end thing to say. And then I've worked with thousands of people, and I was like, they all do the same things. Like, everyone needs to do the same movement patterns: squat, hinge, lunge, press, pull, carry, load, isometric. everyone does the same thing. Do there need to be certain certain people that should make certain swaps? 100%. That like there is areas or times where there needs to be a sort of specific change made, but I know most, but like we've done this for 5 years. The results are, they kind of speak for themselves. You do not need to follow a tailored training plan unless you have a very tailored requirement. Yeah.
Fitness photo shoots are just weird.
I actually agree now, to be fair. When I got into fitness, like I was like, I'm going to do a photo shoot. I'm going to get shredded. I'm going to put fake tan on. I don't know if it's something I'll ever do again. Maybe I will. I don't know. It can be sort of seen as a weird thing. I think what makes me laugh, we just kind of see it as a bit of a laugh now. Like the people that show up, like there's guys that, I mean, they're like total Glasgow Neds. And they won't mind me saying this. I'm not going to name who they are, but total kind of Glasgow Neds, and they show up with spray tans on, and it's just the fucking funniest thing in planet Earth. So it probably is a little bit weird, but it's also just a chance to kind of celebrate your hard work.
Do you know what? It was one of the best days of 2022 for me. The energy in that room, capping off a really a period of hard work and getting photos that you can look back on with pride for the effort that you put in and like what you were able to build and transform. So I think it's like, it's an unusual thing and you won't do it lots and lots, and it's a bit odd. Shaving as much hair as you can and getting the tan on, but it's all for the experience of it. And I promise you'll have a good time on the day.
I speak to people about this, and I think they think I'm going to try and be like, oh no mate, it's really cool, it's amazing, and I'm just like, it's a bit of a laugh. Like, you're going to get amazing photos, like you might not ever be in this like exact shape again. And Alex always said, he's always like, I just think it'll be cool when I'm like 90 and I've got grandwains and I could be like, the shape your granddad was in. And I always think about stuff like that, and it's true, because if I actually look at my granddad, cool, he's not standing in, you know, his pants with fake tan on, but he's got photos of him as a young guy, absolutely fucking mad shape, and he's like, back in my day, and I just think it's absolutely class. So the photo shoot, it's also completely optional. There's another thing that I want to make clear. It's not a mandatory thing. I'm not going to shave you and spray you with fake tan myself. It's completely up to you if you want to take part in the photo shoot. It's
an experience, it really is though.
And it's not a model photo shoot. It's quite literally like, let's showcase your physique. Like, let's showcase what it looks like now in comparison to 12 weeks ago. So it's not like you're in bodybuilding pants. It's not like we're asking you to do really weird poses. It's quite literally like, stand there with some weights, flex. Some of them are maybe a bit weird, but
last couple of criticisms. You won't be supported if there's over 500 people involved.
Yeah, I mean, tell me this 5 years ago and I would have agreed. I was like, you can't run a group coaching program with 500 people. But if you ask, and I can probably flash up some testimonials here, if you ask anyone that's worked throughout this program, they will say that they've had more support through this than they have with most other coaches that they've had in the past. The way that I've sort of systemized communication works extremely well. The coaches that we've got are unbelievably good. They're great communicators, as am I. Like, I think for me as well, like, I care so much about this. So if there's ever any points throughout this where you're not feeling supported, like, you would reach out to me and you will feel supported.
Last one on support though. What happens after the 12-week peak? Will I not be supported?
Yeah, I mean, this was always a strange bit of criticism that we got. Like, we're just left to our own devices after the 12-week peak. And I was always a bit like, yeah, I know, like the 12 weeks is done. Like, we have tons of clients that pay us year round and they're supported year round. So we've always had a little bit of backlash for like, I was left to do my own thing after this, but there's always been the opportunity to work with us post 12-week peak. Like, always, you can always work with us the day after it finishes. A lot of people choose not to because they think they can either go it alone or maybe budget as well. Like, that's of course something to consider. So this year I've sort of listened to the criticism on this one, and we've built a 4-week, it's called the Cruise, which is quite a funny name, but the 12-week peak cruise, and that is a 4-week phase of sort of teaching you about maintenance, how to reverse diet out of a diet phase, and how to sort of maintain results.
You've covered the basis this time. You're never going to maintain the exact peak of your results, but you can instill behaviors and habits that will give you a chance to look roughly similar to your peak for a little bit longer, because we want to look great during that summer period from May onwards.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not what was the point we were talking there?
You don't get supported afterwards.
Support after. It's not like, you don't need to work with us after. If you choose to, like, you will likely maintain and build upon those results as well.
Yeah, and you see people do it all the time. Like, the number of people that like Alex has worked with off the back of it, they've gone on to then do really well the next year because they've really structured things afterwards. Last but not least, David, what are you most excited about for this year's 12-week peak?
Probably the ball. The ball's just phenomenal. I think like the feedback that we get on it, like it's everyone's best day of their year so far. It's usually in June, so yeah, the ball's incredible, but also just the messages that we get throughout this. I think like just sitting sometimes in the, I don't want to say they're not sob stories, but like the heartfelt messages that people send us about how much better their life's got, or
brain, body, business, relationships, everything.
Yeah, I think it's all that, and it's not really about the six pack for me anymore, or the getting lean. Like, cool, that's a part of it, but I think it's everything else surrounding that.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Where should people head towards to get involved?
So if you've listened to this full thing, fair enough, because it quite literally is just me ramming it down your throat. And if you've listened to this and you don't sign up now, I've done an awful job, and you've just wasted an hour of your life. So just go and sign up. The link is in my Instagram bio. Equally, if you're on my email list, you've probably got 400 sales emails by now trying to ram this down your throat. Outside of that, just message me. There is always people that are on the fence that message me a week after this starts saying, I wish I signed up. Can I still sign up? Can I pay? And the answer is always no. We don't onboard anyone after the sign up deadline, which is the 28th of February. So whenever you're listening to this, you've got until the 28th of February. Reach out, and if we can clear up anything for you, just let us know.
Beautiful stuff, David. Let's wrap up.
Cheers.